I've really kind of noticed this gap in financial education. So it's become something that's really important to me. And so naturally investing, going from stocks, I started investing into cryptocurrency about a year ago. And yeah, it's just something I've really valued. And I find that there's a lot of myths that people have. And I think just keeping an open mind and kind of understanding from start to finish how crypto works would really allow people to start off investing in that space and doing that safely as well, because there's a lot of different like cybersecurity things to look out for too. So these are the table of contents. These are some of the things I'm going to be going about. So just introducing what it is, any sort of limiting beliefs, the history behind it, some of the solutions that I believe it poses to some of the real life applications, the way that you could go about buying it, and just answering any of your questions that you might have. Yeah, again, I've been in this for about a year, so I'm always consistently learning, and I find that one of the best things about the space is just the ability to be able to ask questions. And I think the fact that other people are still figuring it out and in the space is just makes it like a really positive experience. And that's something I found, which is why I've decided to focus heavily on cryptocurrency. So what is crypto? So it's a decentralized digital currency, and it can be used just like any other currency. So quite simply put, its value is associated with a digital coin or token. So when you purchase it, you've purchased ownership of a token that exists on a blockchain. And then this is associated with your digital wallet. So you can sell your token, purchase an item using it, your token, or trade it for something else, like another token, or move it to a different digital wallet. And then hand in hand with this is blockchain technology. And blockchain means that crypto is like not in the hands of a single source, so it bounces from peer to peer. So it gets in the hands of one person who's transacting it, and it's fully transparent. So essentially, a blockchain is like a ledger or record. So all the transactions have taken place within that crypto associated with it, and then it would be recorded onto the blockchain, and then it's associated with that transaction forever. So it doesn't erase any transactions or sales, and it's being stored as information on that platform, on that blockchain. And what makes the blockchain secure, like it's very secure and is safe from like a lot of different attempts to gain control over cryptocurrency, which I can explain later as well. So some of the limiting beliefs would be like scams. So I think the biggest thing in this is just being aware of types of scams. So like in crypto, it's like fairly safe, but we have to be able to have like the awareness to be able to educate ourselves and understand what cybersecurity is and to know like what to look for in that. And then also with complication, I think it just comes down to like the basics of investing, even in stocks. Like when I started doing that, it just meant taking the time to educate myself, to read things, to ask questions, to be curious, because the only way to start something is just to begin with like reading about it and talking about it and putting yourself in the space of other people who know about that. Another thing is money loss. So just like any sort of investment, I would just suggest a cost to risk analysis. And again, that comes with like doing your own research. And something that I was talking about with Juliana earlier is this idea that I think a lot of people have this belief that you have to invest with someone else, with a third party, and that's not true. What I really like about crypto is this ability to do my own research and to be able to invest on my own. And that's what I do for stocks as well, is I do that for myself. And another limiting belief I think that people might have is that it has no intrinsic value. So I'm going to go on to the next slide because I actually end up addressing that later on here. So crypto has actually been around for quite a while. So we saw in 2009 with the start of Bitcoin. And then actually by 2021, it's reached 1 trillion, which is the fastest asset to do so. And now here in 2022, we have 39 plus countries where crypto is a legal tender. And I think this is important to note, like even in like, for example, like with what's happening with Ukraine, they just ended up making it a legal tender. And that's kind of important, like in times of crisis, the ability to be able to like send and transact with money in a faster way. Like we don't have to wait, 5 business days for money to be transferred over, that we can have more relief or aid in certain situations. So here it just kind of breaks down how short the time frame was for Bitcoin to reach that 1 trillion as an asset. And so we have like other companies which are really heavily regarded. So Google did that the second fastest, and then we have Amazon, Apple, and Microsoft. So I think it kind of just shows that like kind of keep an open mind that there's this ability um, for cryptocurrency to go further than we think. Like even if we don't fully understand it, that there is positivity to that. And then the ROI is just the return on investment. So we have like the S&P 500 would be like an ETF, electronically transferable fund from the stock market. So that's something I invest in, and it's like it has like a really good rate of return over time. And then that's compared with gold as well. So these are things that we most commonly use, but the potential for Bitcoin to reach that has been quite exponential. So why get involved? I would say that some reasons for getting involved would be to be able to diversify your portfolio, to work towards your future. So like just like stocks and real estate, crypto might be something else you might consider. You can invest in partial coins. So like with stocks, like you have the ability to buy like single stocks, which might be worth, a couple $100s. But what I really liked about this is when I got involved in crypto, it was a year ago. So my first investment was Ethereum. And I decided to buy 0.06 Ethereum as my first investment because I didn't want to spend the whole, like one whole Ethereum. And so it's nice that you have the ability to buy partial coins. And the fact that transactions are fast as well. So the ability to provide, financial relief in terms of crisis, or to donate to a charity, or if I wanted to send a friend in another country money, the same thing. It can all happen like pretty quickly. And something actually that I experienced is even like the other day I tried to transfer money from my mutual fund to transfer it back to like a different account, and it took 5 business days. So I think the ability to be in control of my own money is also quite meaningful. And then also having like the private keys. So I can explain that on the next step here about how to buy crypto. But this ability to actually own your money, to have that private key and that ownership of it is really important. And then also it's education friendly. I think because it's such a new space, it just makes it a good space to be able to ask questions and people trying to figure things out. And oftentimes we don't grow up learning about these things anyway, so putting in the hard work of figuring that out for ourselves. And then also I noticed that one of my favorite countries is Turkey, and the Turkish lira is down quite a bit. So I see this benefit for countries like Turkey who the fiat currencies aren't really on par. So it could be good to be able to invest in some of these currencies that hold value, and then the ability to hold on to them as well. And then companies like Nike are also adopting cryptocurrency, like doing different metaverse projects, and countries like El Salvador are using it as like a tender. And in general, it's just really good to invest in your future. Trying to go to the next slide here. There we go. So quick guide. So how I would go about buying coins. So I would do my own research. So how I do that is I use multiple different websites. I probably use like 10 different ones, but one of the ones that comes to mind is CoinGecko. So when you look on CoinGecko, it has all the different types of currencies that you can buy. You can type in the ticker at the top. It comes up with different stats and links, so I can see like where I can buy certain coins from. So one of my favorite coins is called Solana. I just type that in. I can see where I can buy it, what the where it is on the market, where the trends are and everything, and I can follow all those stats. And then I can go to TradingView and I can check out charts and check out trend lines and kind of see where I think it's going to go. I think at the end of the day, it's just doing your own research and being comfortable for yourself, and that comes from educating yourself as well. So then how I do it is I sign up for a centralized exchange. So the one that I commonly use is called Newton. And then all of these exchanges that would have different coins offered. So for example, I can buy Solana on Newton, so then I would do that. But I also want to make sure that when I sign up for that centralized exchange, that I protect myself by keeping all my passwords safe and things like this. And then I can e-transfer fiat currency like Canadian dollar from my bank, from Scotiabank, and then I send it to an exchange, and then I can use that money to buy coins. So yeah, it's just even just starting small. So like I started out as like a bigger investment. I would say I probably put like 2 grand into crypto at the start when I put my money into Ethereum, and it's done quite well. But I think like for a lot of people, just even putting in like $50 and kind of seeing where it goes, treating it kind of like almost like a kind of like a research project, like the ability to see to be able to invest and kind of see where it goes. So you can invest on like a really small level as well, which makes it less intimidating. And for security, one thing I would definitely suggest is taking your cryptocurrency from that centralized exchange like Newton and putting it onto like an offline wallet. So some examples for that would be Exodus. So then in Exodus, I'm able to keep all of my currencies, and that's where I have the key or the code to all of my own finances. This can be put onto a ledger as well. Um, yeah, so these are some of the things that I've been doing, and I find that crypto doesn't have to be as intimidating or scary, and that it can just be seen as another way to invest. And I think just keeping an open mind, because I think that where crypto is going in the future is going to be is going to be doing quite well, and we already see other countries and companies adopting this as well. Yeah, I this was my first time presenting. Hopefully you guys all enjoy this, and if you have any questions, like feel free to ask now or even after. But this is kind of how my personal journey has been the last year.